We are joined right now by Stephane Matteau and Adam Graves here live at the bar. And Stephane, we have to ask you this question first. We had Adam Graves here. He said, please ask Matteau.
You had Eddie O.
We had, of course, Adam. We had Eddie Olczyk here. And he said, please ask Matteau what happened before the second overtime. Who handled his stick?
That happens in Game 3 also in New Jersey.
Okay.
Eddie O wasn't playing those games, and he was along with him in the dressing room. First Game 3, he kissed my stick for good luck, and I end up scoring my first double overtime goal. Game 7, double overtime, I was along with him again, and sure, I asked him to kiss my stick, and he did more than that. He kissed it, and he started dancing with it, and and we had that little moment that we shared, and 21 years later, we still talk about it.
I bet. Wow.
Little baby stick came out 9 months later.
Yeah.
Does a day go by when you're not reminded of Matteau?
Only in New York, Montreal, they don't want to be part of it, and
Right.
it's okay. And but every time we come, Adam and I would come back, and the great fans of New York, they always remind us of the 1994 teams. And of course, my goal is people scream my names all over the place, and it's overwhelming at times. But I'm very blessed that I was part of a great team like that.
Adam, it's 5:36. It's about 2.5 hours before face-off. What's going on with the players right now? What are they thinking? What are they doing as they prepare for this game?
Well, I think for a lot of the guys, they're just they're just trying to focus on.
Wait. Adam's mic's not on.
All right. Go ahead, Adam. Sorry.
Okay, so for me, I think a lot of the guys, it's like anything else, you have to stay with what's got you there. And whatever your preparation is for a normal game, and certainly it's heightened because it's Game 7. But for a lot of players, it's just about the excitement of the game and making sure that you don't let that excitement take away from your puck management, your decision making, and things of that sort. Because one mistake can cost you a game. But this team prides itself on playing a responsible game, playing a smart game, and playing a complete game as far as the team is concerned. So I think a lot of those habits that they would have during the regular season, even in the playoffs to this point, at 5:36, 5:37 for an 8 o'clock game, will be much the same, because hockey players, like the rest of us, are creatures of habit.
Nerves involved right now as we approach Game 7?
Excitement.
But not nerves.
No, I don't think so. They're prepared. They had a little scared last game in Tampa Bay. They know they were one game away to be eliminated. So it's a great opportunity for them to win a great game at Madison Square Garden. So they're excited, but they're focused. They had 2 days to prepare, to rest, and they're ready.
I do wonder, though, an elimination game that goes into overtime, do nerves take over? I mean, I know an athlete that's well prepared shouldn't be nervous, but you're also a human being. So were you guys nervous in that Game 7?
Back in '94, we weren't. We were a little disappointed that the Devils scored late in the game, and but we were prepared. That those guys, the Edmonton Oilers guys, they went through so many adversity before, and that's why they won 4 or 5 championships before. We had great leaders who led us the way, and us young players would just follow.
You know, you heard John Cooper, the head coach of the Tampa Bay Lightning, guys, kind of play the role after Game 6. Well, we're young. These guys are playing their video games. He almost painted the picture like we can't win, and that's what he's telling his team. Hey, they don't expect us to go up there and win. Does that work with players when a coach starts to talk about how no one believes in you, everybody thinks we're going to lose, kind of try to play that underdog role? When the team has played so well in this series, will the players buy into that?
Well, I think it's, if you look back in the history of all of sport and most things, you're going to see that sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, and this isn't the first time a coach in any sport has tried to position and take the pressure off his own team, because that's essentially what you're trying to do. And he's a heck of a coach, and he's got an excellent team. I mean, this series has been. Forget about everything else. This has been as entertaining and as good a hockey as you're going to see in my mind for the last couple decades. And I think what he's trying to do, because they're a young team, wants to take the pressure off of them, put it on the Rangers. But Game 7, pressure's on everyone. You have to win to advance to the Stanley Cup Finals. So I think the pressure's on both teams.
Is there a chance, Adam, that after being pulled in an important Game 6 at home, that Bishop comes into this with just a little bit of a chip into his confidence, that he might be wondering?
Well, it's hard to say, and certainly we've often said in goalies in general, you have to be a different breed to be a goalie, and they're mentally probably tougher than the rest of the players on the team for the most part. You see that with Henrik, and I'm sure Bishop is the same way. He's a heck of a goalie. He's had a fantastic early career, and he'll be ready to go. I mean, he came in here 2 games ago and pitched a shutout, so I think he's probably going to feel confident coming into the Garden. But I think for the Rangers, that first 10 minutes, and certainly try to take advantage of the energy in the building, try to get that first goal and put Tampa Bay back on their heels, and hope that they try to press a little bit and open themselves up.
Stephane Matteau and Adam Graves are with us as we get ready for Game 7 tonight between the Rangers and the Lightning. When you've got a goaltender that's on his game, Stephane, and Adam, answer this too. Do you find yourself being a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more offensive, knowing that if we make a mistake, he's going to bail us out? And conversely, if he's not on top of his game, do you find yourself being more conservative because you don't want to make that mistake because you're afraid he will give up the goal?
Well, personally, when the goalie's hot, it really helps because that builds your confidence. But also, you have to, like Adam mentioned before, each player is going to prepare themselves the way they always prepare themselves for their best game as possible. So when their goalie is not, that means you're down by 2 or 3 goals before you wake up, and maybe it's too late. So, but tonight we expect you have to expect Bishop to be at his best, and Lundqvist also.
And I think when you look at both teams in this series, both teams have had success at different times, but it's almost been a little bit of a roller coaster where one team's having a great deal of success, and then the other team, and that's where it's been unpredictable as far as the series is concerned. But like Steph said, both these goalies are top goalies in the National Hockey League, and they're both going to be ready to play, which will make for a fantastic night.
Steph, I'm wondering, I was here in Game 7 for the Capitals, and you were one of 5 guys they showed up on the screen. The place goes nuts. Adam was there as well. Why does your team, I mean, a lot of New York teams have won championships, a lot of them are beloved, but it seems like the 94 Rangers really resonate. What do you think it was?
Our leadership. We had great players, but we also had great individual on our team, and everybody was down to earth. You look at some of the pictures, you would not guess who scored a goal. We were all happy for each other, and we went through some adversity against the Devils and also against Vancouver. So we had great leadership, and like I said, they made some great moves at the last minute to get the team better. I was one of the players who benefited from it, and we had great leadership, and we had everything to win the Stanley Cup that year.